I thought you were going to make a drink. You just poured rum into a glass. That's not making a drink.
But this glass is fancy. Don't judge me.
To be fair, he put ice in it.
I did. That's a drink.
Oh, I have my scotch.
Have you been to Kentucky? That's a drink.
I'll be back.
Welcome to Learn to Drink.
Hello and welcome to Learn to Wargame, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or PG Newless on the forums, and I play Kador, because I'm new and exciting.
This is Carl, or Carl on Facebook, and I play Legion.
What? Can't be Carl on Facebook.
Yeah, I can be. I'm not on the forums.
But is that your actual name on Facebook?
Yeah.
Carl on Facebook?
Yeah. No. I guess it could be. Think it will now.
Ryan used to be Ryan Warmachine on Facebook.
Warmachine.
He's like, I don't want people to know what I post on. I was like, you know, our group is like closed, right? Nobody else can see it. And he's like, oh. So he changed his name. It was Ryan.
Jeremey, I go play Lord Fool, and I play UCM.
Fuck you, Jeremy.
Oh, I want to play that.
I play UFS.
When is it coming? Jeremy.
He wore a t-shirt and a dog tag.
When
Someone
are you getting models?
I got them today.
Why aren't we playing right now?
Because somebody wanted to do a fucking podcast.
I mean, it probably is, but I still want to play it.
Yeah. It was great. So
It's designed by Andy Chambers.
Okay, I'll admit that it's probably decent then.
I might be out of town this weekend, but if I'm not, do you want to play Saturday?
I doubt I'll have it together by Saturday.
Shit.
Scott!
Are you going to introduce yourself, Scott, or are you just going to sit there?
Well, I was waiting for a break in the conversation with Brandon, as always.
You have to be assertive.
Yeah, you just ignore Brandon sometimes.
You just find a hole and you stick it in, Scott.
You're the worst. My name's Scott. I play Kador and Skorne. And I go by PG Scotty or SC077Y on the forum.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is your name stupid? Why can't you spell Scott correctly?
Because it was already taken. It was late at night. I think I was probably half drunk and didn't want to keep trying different names, so that's what I stuck with.
So the shame, mainly.
Mostly that.
Yeah, it's shame.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie.
So what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about basically how the rest of Warmachine Weekend went, because anyone of our adoring fans has already heard our During Warmachine Weekend podcast, which was legit.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Trump.
Sure, we can talk about Trump and how he's the new emperor of the world.
We are not talking about Trump.
What?
He's
the greatest.
We're entering the danger zone. So anyway, we'll talk about the last day of Warmachine Weekend. Yeah. And then
as Carl grips the glass and breaks it.
Oh no, it would be empty.
He just put the glass down and drink it straight out of the bottle now. We'll talk about the last day of Warmachine Weekend, which was the Invitational. Then we'll talk about what we learned after Warmachine Weekend, which is mainly like, dojoing the different casters, and a new theme force came out and stuff like that.
New theme force came out. There was a ruling today.
I like rulings.
Somewhat interesting. If a spell puts down a cloud and that cloud is a hazard, it counts as terrain and blocks sprays.
What? Hazards are terrain?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, hazards have always been terrain, but like just someone asked the question. Or actually, I think they asked the question before and they said that no, it's a spell, but then they went back and changed their answer. So it's like
because it caused more issues than they wanted to deal with.
It's like Thagrosh's Eruption of Ash.
Sure.
Eruption. The
spell eruption.
The spell eruption.
Cloud and hazard.
They had a list on the forum, or the post, but.
I think
Old Witch. Old Witches
Lich
is a hazard.
Yes, Old Witches is a hazard. Lich 1, Breath of Corruption is a hazard. So Lich 1 and Resheth.
And Lich 2, right?
No.
Isn't
This Cloud isn't a hazard?
No.
Isn't Ashen Veil a hazard?
Is Scything Cloud?
No.
It doesn't point when you enter it. How's it not a hazard?
It doesn't say hazard on the spell.
This is the real nerf to Lich 2. We were waiting for him to get nerfed again. It just happened. They're going to have to buff him to counteract that.
Yeah. Totes. Anyway, it's a buff to some casters, not all of them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think it's pretty minor.
Any other changes happened recently?
Not really. Not that I can think of.
Cool. All right, so let's move into Warmachine Weekend wrap-up.
Cool.
I guess I'll go first. The Invitational, we played 2 games on Saturday and then 3 games on Sunday, if you're not scrub. So, my first game was against Dan Yount.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you say his name?
Yep, from Phoenix.
All right. He's a really good player. I had only met him once previously, which was in Houston at the time. And
practice weekend.
So he tried to juke me and say he was bringing Bradigus to the Invitational. I knew he wasn't, that fucking liar. Anyway, he brought Wormwood and Tanith, and I had my Rusk 2 All Iron Fangs list and my Malakoff 2, which is 5 Juggernauts, Shock Troopers with support, and that's pretty much it. And I played Malakov after expecting him to play Tanith, hoping I was going to play a Rusk to try and counter Wormwood. So I won the list pair, basically. And
you can do that because you think Malakov can play into
I think
Wormwood.
Malakov can play into Wormwood. It's probably not as good as Rusk, but it's pretty close, I think. And it also mainly depends. If he's got Reeves in both of his lists, which I believe he did, then it's a really hard matchup for Rusk. So it's pretty much just better to go with Malakov anyway. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah. So I played Malakov and managed to pull out a victory. It was a pretty close game, actually. A couple things went his way, but not massively. I left a Pureblood on 1, and then it killed 2 Juggernauts the next turn.
Nice.
Which is pretty rough. He killed 2 Juggernauts before I feeded, which I kind of expected, but I thought he was going to have to commit more. So I had a hard time trying to clear out a lane to get a Juggernaut to a Feral. I did get the Juggernaut to a Feral and didn't kill it, which is about a coin flip. And I also put a 2-man CMA off of the Shock Trooper officer with Dirty Fighting on him into a bird in the back, missed it with snakes to knock it down. So it dodged away from me, which is totally awesome. So I basically left him with 3 more War Beasts than I should have during the game. And just, nothing you really do about it. I did my best, I think. But it ended up making it a pretty close game. And I ended up pulling it out on time.
Nice.
And then my second game was against Trevi the Great. He was playing Striker 2, Haley 2. I played... I rushed 2 into Striker 2, was our list pair we went with. I think it's probably a 50-50 game. It's pretty close either way, I think. But I misplayed my feet, thinking I needed to hold it longer than I did, and then mispositioned on top of it. And I could have played the game a lot better, but Trevi definitely deserved the victory there. So cool. I lost to Trevi, and I went 1-1 on the weekend.
So my game was against Bubba, so infamous Mad Dog list.
Mm-hmm.
I had Lil 3 and Rias 1. Rias list has a Blightbringer, T that's a swordsman, and 2 Hellmouths and Grotesque Banshees with 2 assassins. So he had Mad Dogs, Karchev with Mad Dogs, 2 Juggernauts, 10 Mad Dogs.
What about your other list?
Lil 3 is basically Brian's list.
I mean, you just copy his list.
Yeah, I just copied his list, so it's no big deal. So it's Carnivian, Typhon, Seraph, Boltor, Naga, Hellmouth, 2 Deathstalkers, and then some support. So he's got his Mad Dog list paired with Harkovich with 2 Victors. So Lilith 1 can't play in either of this list. So I dropped Rias. If he dropped Harkovich, he auto wins. But he didn't. He dropped Mad Dogs.
And we talked about this afterwards. We weren't sure why he dropped it, and I think he realized halfway through the game that he played the wrong list.
Yeah, about turn 3, he was kind of...
Not even just because of the difficulty of the matchup he ended up with, but because he has no other opportunity to drop Harkovich for like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And he might end up getting list locked into Harkovich in the finals if he was to make it there.
Right. I think he wants to rely on the strength of that Mad Dog spam. And I think he definitely had an opportunity. Because it's pretty clear what I'm going to drop, I think. I have a list with Weapon Masters against 2 Khador bricks. Mm-hmm. I'm going to drop the Weapon Master list.
Right.
And the Victors... They do kind of have to get decent scatters, but if they do, they just win. They light all my stuff on fire, and they just win.
Yeah.
But he dropped Mad Dogs. I was doing very well, I think. Definitely on the path to victory, but then I kind of made a critical mistake and lost. Rias does what she did against that pair. She was killing 1 Jack a turn pretty easily. I think she's a very, we can talk about her a little bit, but I think she's a very underrated caster because she can easily kill one Jack a turn, and her spell list isn't great. Her feat is good, but when you just consider the amount of work she can do, especially on a Jack spam list, so few casters can have that big of an impact, I think.
Yeah.
And still be safe with sprint. With reach, she can be 10 inches. Reach and dash, she can be 10 inches away.
Yeah.
I say her spell list is bad. Dash and occultation are two very good spells.
It's kind of like Butcher 3, where you can play the risk game and commit her a little more to the game than you need to if you think you have a bad matchup, and she can dig you out of a hole on the the back of, as long as you don't get hot dice to kill my caster, I'm going to eventually dig out of this hole.
Yeah, I actually do think she's more similar to Butcher than some people realize, because I think you can get to the point where she just takes over a game, and I've definitely gotten there before against like some retribution lists. It's just Griffin spam, so she can kill 1 to 2 Griffins a turn. That's a big impact.
So what did they make her melee now?
Mat 8 reach, weapon master with crit decap, POW 13 base?
POW 13, so she got one strength buff.
And then still has riposte. So if you miss her...
Yes, still has riposte. So with the Blightbringer in the list, which I think is a no-brainer for her, she's a POW 15 weapon master. Yeah. It's just that easily takes Jacks off the table. You have to be careful with her positioning, but with Hellmouths to block charge lanes, the Blightbringer giving her a +2 armor buff, and she can put an occultation on herself also if she's really worried about getting shot off. I think she's a very, very strong caster into the meta right now.
Yeah.
Her feat's also fantastic. I mean, if you look at a lot of the damage buffs in Legion and just consider her feat giving swordsman an extra attack, it's better than a lot of the +2 strength buffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went 0-1 at the Invitational, but was happy to make it. I feel good about the game I played up until I made that mistake. And then, so the next day what did I do on Sunday? I just played
in Scramble.
I played in a Scramble. Then played some board games and left.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had played in more Scrambles, but I spent so much time playing the 2 lists I'd already been playing that they were kind of tedious at this point.
True. Yeah, I played some Fiona games in the Scramble. That was fun.
Because you were playing the same list at Iron Gauntlet, right?
Yeah, I played... Yeah, I just threw together some random card ship list because it was already painted.
I didn't think this.
That's fine. In Iron Gauntlet, me and Carl ended up playing in the 3rd round, I think. 3rd or 4th round. And, I dropped my card chip list into Rias, and despite a couple bad dice rolls, I think it actually might have been a game. But pretty much just got tired of playing those exact lists. So I'm kind of excited to explore the things in Khador I've been kind of pushing to the back because I didn't think they were particularly viable into what I wanted to play them into. Mainly because I play against Legion more than anything else because of Carl and Brent Simon and apparently Brian Marino and like fucking everybody I play plays fucking Legion. Even Jason plays Legion.
Yeah, he's been playing me now.
That's true. He did switch to me now. But yeah, and then
After you begged him.
Yeah, I know. And then there's even from Joplin area, I get to play against Richie Brown a couple times. So like I see a massive amount of Legion. So I can't like play my Zerkova 1 list, which I was enjoying for a while because she just doesn't function into Legion the way I play her anyway. So yeah, it gets a little boring where you're pretty much playing the same Legion answer over and over again versus everything they can possibly throw at you, which is a little annoying. But pretty much Irusk and Malakov are both solid into it. So,
well, what's really interesting about that is like when you look at Khador into Legion, like you obviously have like the huge armor spam, but Legion is so adaptive. Like I mean, like just their game plan has evolved so specifically that they actually can handle those lists and come out on top. And like so it does get really tedious because it's almost like a lot of times because I run into the same thing. I play a lot of Khador. And then I end up playing against a lot of Legion opponents, and then like it's almost half the time it's almost like, well, I'm going to test out and see if this answers you, and then it's like, oh, sweet, it answers me. Let's play 20 more games of me getting my head beat in for a while.
Yeah, mainly because, and specifically now, a lot of Legion players have accepted that maybe you need to play infantry So we'll see like either Rias or
Because it's
Callus.
no longer hot garbage.
Yeah, I know. We'll see either unplayable garbage, I believe is the term. But you'll see like
Nobody listens to him. Anyway.
double weapon master and a unit of grotesque. So you have 3 units of infantry, all of which hit decently hard, and you'll have to play against it with multiple different casters to give it different buffs. And even if they don't want to play the infantry spam with weapon masters everywhere, they can still play a peace trade game with threat range with like Abbey 2 or Theana now, or pretty much, or even Thagrosh 1 can do a heavy trade pretty well. So despite building a like anti-Legion Khador list, like where you're just like, oh, I'm just take a bunch of armor. Well, depending on how you brought that armor and how you support it, certain Legion lists will still be able to get around it. Maybe not, certainly not all of them, but there's always something that will be able to get you.
I think Legion Indicator is an interesting. Assume that's what we're talking about.
Yes. It's because you naturally assume it's bad because you're like, well, that's like Legion's one weakness is armor skew, so you're gonna play armor skew into it. But if they're prepared for it, which if you're taking them to a tournament, you need to be.
Yeah.
If you're prepared for armor skew, depending on the list matchup, you could have a perfectly fine game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yep, and that's what I've run into too. Like helping, like again, playing against Richie a lot, just kind of like working with him, like trying to find like answers that work for him and things that he wants to play. And so he kind of fell into that mindset of the standard like Legion internet mindset, I guess, if there is such a thing, where he was like, we can't beat armor. And then we go through and we look at it and it's like, no, like his Thagrosh 1 list has been stomping armor for a while. It's built to do that. Like it's really good. And then like now he was playing tonight a Fianna 2 list and he was running like all the dudes, right? Like the like double swordsman, Hellmouse. Sure. And it got pretty scary. Like on the bottom of 2 against a Haley player, he had put himself into a position where like a Hellmouth was inviolable resolved, or iron fleshed, I'm sorry, and was like blocking up, like holding up like his left flank, and that's where Fianna was. And then like he was getting ready to actually get like his swordsman like digging into melee. So it did not look good for the Haley player, and I think the Haley player has a learning curve because he's never played against Fianna before. But it was really interesting just to watch him like play himself out of that, even though like there's a lot of armor. Like there's a lot of Stormblades and Stormlances. They're not Stormblades, but big stompy jack with
Stormclad.
Stormclad, thank you. But there was like a lot of Stormclads and Stormlances, and he was picking that up really well. So it's really interesting to watch like how that faction in particular is so adaptive to different things that come their way.
Yeah,
they have to know what the meta is, but I think once you know what the meta, they're one of the factions that if you know what you're going to see, you can usually build a list to handle it fairly well.
I think the biggest weakness to Legion isn't like armor spam; it's actually like monotony. Like if they just play the same thing every time, that's really where they hit a wall, I think. And the ability to adapt is their strongest point. So, yeah, because they can really build a list against anything.
Yeah, but you can't build one list against everything.
Right.
So you can get list locked.
Right.
If you play this. Khador is actually interesting. I hate playing against Khador, not because I hate playing Khador, but because it's just dumb list.
It's kind of like what you brought. Yeah, it's like at the point at which you're going to play the game, it's terrible because it's mostly decided. One side has a huge advantage.
The match is almost always decided in list selection. It's a 90-10 match almost either way. Because a little 3 answers a lot of Khadors. Like
you read the exact right amount of speed and power, or you don't.
Yes.
Because if you're like, oh, I'm a little too slow in this game, so then I lose. But if I have too much power, I'm too slow, and then the other side's like, well, I can get to him from 5 inches outside his threat range, but I can only kill 3 of his heavies.
Right.
Like, so it's that
there's
weird.
Another 7.
It's like that razor's edge, regardless. But if you get it right, you like can't lose.
Yeah.
So that was Warmachine Weekend. Anybody else want to bring up any points that happened after our last podcast?
My Warmachine Weekend was pretty. It was pretty entertaining. Was going to play some Beer Machine, which was eventually going to turn into Rum Machine, and then everybody decided.
Yeah, it was going to turn into the.
Yeah, it was going to turn into a hospital machine.
Turn into fucking dialysis machine.
Psoriasis machine.
So we decided that wasn't a big deal or a good idea. I did get to play like a lot of games against friends that I don't always get to play against. I got to play some games against Nick. I got to play some games against sweet Andy Padell. That dude is amazing, like super awesome guy.
Who's that?
Andy Padell.
Would I know
He's a rep player from the Seattle area.
Ooh, gross.
I don't know.
Which part is
I
gross?
probably wouldn't know him then.
I've heard the name before, but I don't
Sounds
know him.
familiar. I'm terrible with names, though, so he could be my neighbor. I don't know.
If I remember correctly, I think he used to be involved with like Hand Cannon Online.
Ooh, gross.
I don't know. I may be completely wrong with that. I don't know. That just seems to tick in my brain, but I could be completely talking out of my ass. But anyways, got to play some games against him. Sunday, got up, watched the Invitational. Incredible games, like all the games, like, and props again to.
Finals was questionable.
I didn't watch it, but I watched the semifinals with Brent and JVM.
I watched that was probably
I thought the whole time that Brent was going to lose,
who did
but
Chris play before he played JVM?
Davies? He played the Menoff player.
That was probably the finals.
That was like
once,
the hardest game.
Well, because once JVM gets their list locked into the complete wrong list, it's done. I mean, he played well. I mean, he did what he could, but I don't think
I think he had to play Thagrosh to beat Brent, or to have a strong match into Brent.
What was
anyway.
it? Was it Thagrosh Mirror, or was it Lil 3 into Thagrosh?
It would have been because he didn't bring. It would have been Lilo 3 into Fayana.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. So he basically pulled the trigger and said, "I'm going to be list locked in finals, and hopefully Chris loses."
Yeah.
Because Fayana can totally beat Mad Dog Spam, but not the list he brought.
No, I don't.
That's not what you do to beat Mad Dogs.
That list is interesting. It's definitely kind of a.
It's an all-comers, which is.
It's an all-comers list that's kind of using Fury to fix a problem instead of Fury to. No, so Fury to fix a pretty pillow-fisted list instead of Fury to be able to answer an armor skew.
Can I say how excited I am that the internet was mostly wrong about what's good and what's not? Because, okay, so Mad Dogs were a problem, but on a caster basis, the casters aren't necessarily overpowered, the ones that got to the finals, I think. It was just that they just run their list well. But if we look at the LCQ, the final game of LCQ was Vlad 2 versus Harvey. Who would have fucking called that?
Well, it was Chris Davies versus Mike Puryear.
Sure, but that's the good players are taking the casters there by things.
No, I think Harbinger is still very good. Her feet got hit hard. I don't know if you ever feet with her.
But her feet was less important to the game with the change.
No, her feet is not that important to the game. Once you play a couple games, I think you'll realize that, especially now that, like you say, there's no, or you're kind of insinuating.
You're not time walking anybody anymore.
No.
You're just making their mechanics.
But you wouldn't anyway. I mean, who the fuck does Mad Dogs care about PAL 14s?
Exactly. Well, it's annoying, but
sure.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Is you're going to be annoying to your enemy for a turn.
Yeah, even if it was the old feat. But Martyrdom is probably better now.
Why better? Just because it's more important? Because quantity of attacks is lower?
Quantity of attacks is generally lower.
Yeah. I actually agree with that wholeheartedly. Because a lot of list construction seems to be centered around, at least from my lens, you're playing, very, very, high value, lots of solos, smaller units, things like that. That's what you're seeing a lot of. And as long as that's what you're seeing a lot of, to me, the value of Martyrdom goes up with how important every piece is that you're playing. So to me, Martyrdom is insane.
She certainly gets more work out of her solos than anybody else can. But I was thinking specifically, if you just take even an armor brick with her, and you just screen it with 2 units of knights, and you say these knights will never die, and if your opponent doesn't have enough guns to make them, then they get there, and you're like, oh, sweet, my Juggernaut charges into these 2 knights, triggers your stupid battle-driven on both units, and then dies next turn, because that's what happens. You just can't get through the line at a certain point.
Sure.
Quantity of attacks has gone so much lower. The quality is higher, but it's irrelevant to Martyr.
No,
so is Martyr still damaged, and it just heals?
It heals 1 point. Okay. Yeah, so Grievous Wound still gets around it, but there's honestly less Grievous Wounds in the game.
But it does trigger...
Well, I think...
There's a lot more, takedown and stuff, but there's less overall Grievous Wounds.
I think that a lot of the, Alton... I don't think you're seeing as much Alton, and... Orin is different because he, fills a role in a faction that some factions just can't do otherwise.
It's anti-spell and offense for 5 points as well.
Sure, but, Alton and Kel, specifically with Grievous Wounds, Alton, I think a lot of lists are finding that he's just too many points.
Yeah, the 5 points is most of a jack.
Yeah,
it's a different game when you're considering Alton, who used to be 2 points, is now instead of being a quarter of a jack, it's now half. But
he can still do a jack's worth of damage
in
a turn.
Yeah, he dies a lot easier.
He dies a lot easier, and only in some matchups. I mean, if you don't,
if you don't go against hordes, it's
right.
Yeah.
But in some games, he's worth 10 points. In some games, he's worth 1.
Sure.
I mean, he's still range 14.
I don't know that I've ever had a game where I did not have a valuable application for Alton Ashley. Like even against Warmachine games, because like a Rat 8 POW 12 range 14 gun is still good.
It is good, but 5 points is expensive in Mark III.
Sure, I agree.
That's 5% of your list on in most lists.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's
like I don't know that there's ever a point where he's worth a point.
It's
like there are times when I'm like, yeah, he's not optimal, but like being able to stop you from repairing that guy, really important.
There's a lot of stealth skews where he just can't get anything done.
Also, I mean, even if he's just a range 14 gun, I mean that's a Winter Guard rifle core, so that's not even 2 points. So if that's all he's doing, he just takes his range 14 shot every turn. Then you can get you could get that same range 14 shot for way cheaper.
Yeah.
Now in the list he's good and he's amazing, and that's why he's 5 points. But
he has a lot of really good rules, and no one's saying he's a bad model.
No,
but when you get down to it in Mark III, you take all your stuff and you're like, well, I either have a power-up guy and mechanics or Alton Ashley. Like that's a hard sell.
I think Orin.
So to change it to where you're not just taking support out, you're dropping a unit for 2 solos, and that's a hard sell.
Yeah. I think Orin is just going to be the better solo most of the time.
Orin is consistent. He's always good.
Yes.
I agree. There's never a point where I have put Orin on the table where he did not
change the way your opponent plays.
Meaningfully impact the game.
Sure.
Like whether he's picking up like 4 guys because you just rolled bonkers with your leaps, or he's hugging like Irusk to make sure that they can't hellmouth him in. Like there's never a point at which he does not fundamentally impact the game.
Yep.
Yeah, I've had a guy just completely give up on shooting with magic because of Warren. It's like I use 1 power token and he's like, "Oh, okay," and just stopped attacking.
He can be over. You can power through.
I'm like,
okay.
I mean,
yeah,
I still got to spin these tokens.
I only got 2 of them more. 2 more of them.
He was like, yeah, but I only have 2 more guys.
Orin, I'm not even impressed on, honestly, Arcane Vortex is sweet, but holy shit is a boostable Chain Lightning fucking
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely.
There's been so many games where that Chain Lightning has saved the game for me.
Especially when you just boost it to hit.
It's like, fuck it. These 3 guys have to die. Like, boost hit, boost 2 damage rolls. Like, oh, sweet, they're gone.
Yeah, for sure. So, that was pretty much everyone's Warmachine Weekend? Or does anyone want to add on?
No, I think that's pretty much it for Warmachine Weekend.
Do we want to move on to some Dojo?
Yeah, let's move on to Dojo. Do you want to talk about Fayana first?
Sure, we can talk about Fayana first. So my list that I've kind of put together with Fayana the Lash. So it's Fayana, Succubus. The battle group is Nerif, Seraph, Angel. The solos are Blighted, Nis Sorceress, and Hellion. Forsaken, Spell Martyr, 1 Shepherd, and 1 Nis Warlord. And then I have a Hellmouth, Raptors, and Swordsman.
I read on Facebook, though, that Carnivians are good. Why don't you have any of those?
Carnivians are good, but not in this. A Fury Carnivian would be really good.
It would be good,
but
if you could get it there.
I like the higher def with your feet.
Carl, even I own 2 of them.
I own like 3 of them.
I think I have 5.
So
I feel left out. I don't own any.
I'll get on the.
Do you want to?
No, I'm good.
I mean, if you want to drink the Kool-Aid, I'll sell you 1 Carnivian for $700. But you can then cut it in half and sell it to 2 people for $350 each.
That's how it works.
And then you'll give me half of that as commission, and that's how we both make money.
Oh my god, that's amazing! I'm in.
You just need to get 2 more people below you.
Yeah, and that's when you really all start making.
That's when the
money.
profits start coming in.
Yeah.
No, it's a pyramid scheme.
It's not. There's just it's like a funnel of money.
So
it's a reverse funnel.
Yeah. No, here, turn it upside down.
Goddamn.
I don't know. I like this list. It's a pretty well balanced list. It's got some guns. It's got some pretty decent melee attacks. There's some things I wish I would like Ascidian in here. I don't think this list takes advantage of Overtake very well.
I think Overtake on a Nerf is surprisingly good. Because it really allows him to get in there and kill. Because he can actually go in Vortex, or what is it called, Attractor now?
Attractor.
You can Attractor, kill people, and kind of like back up as you're doing it, and then sprint.
You
which
could
is
do that.
interesting because you overtake away, then attractor them closer, and then so you can get a couple more
If
inches.
beatback was still Mark II, that would be legit.
Does he have beatback?
He does.
Why does he have beatback?
Because he's got a hard head.
God, what? He has overtake and beatback.
Well, with Fiana, he does.
I was assuming
I think he has beatback.
That's
Let me double check
actually really good.
that. Yeah, his head has beatback.
What the fuck? So you can go in on a single guy, push him back an inch. Well, if he lives, push him back an inch.
See, that's the thing is,
But if you kill him, so you get to move either way, basically.
sure.
You never get both.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so this list, I mean, it does have a lot of movement shenanigans between beatback, between the Nerf and the Angel Animus, and between Crit Smite. You can definitely close out a game on scenario pretty well.
And with having flight and the new charge rules is always good, especially with overtake, because you get into some really weird spots by like flying over people. They're like turn sideways to charge.
Yeah.
You fly to the back side of them, then you overtake further back and turn around, and then you can attract
like, oh, I
people
found
in
it.
from there. You get like a huge threat range.
Yeah, I found a caster. Is this good?
Yeah.
I'm going to hit it with my tail, and now I hit
Now
it.
auto hit it.
Yeah, seems good. It's a lot of high def. I think the lowest def in here is 13.
Yeah.
That's on a
It's
Spellmartyr
certainly-
and a Shepherd.
Certainly good on the feet.
So, I don't know. I don't think that this is like the list to play with her, but
It's just a good all-comers to start with, and then
Yeah.
see what you like about it. I do think she's also good with a Scythian, because you can throw Fury on the Scythian because his defense is already garbage.
sure. The Raptors are probably the one thing where I'm not. They're very good. You POW 15 impacts, POW 13 weapon master attacks, and then they just have good guns.
Yeah, Raptors are just always quality. The only penalty they have is against other quality guns, because they can tend to get picked up pretty easy.
Sure, but until you put Iron Flesh and Defeat on them, and they're
Sure,
17,
no, they're
17s.
more survivable than most lists. That's just generally the weakness of Raptors is long-range reusable guns. Because they can harass like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, and I think a Hellmouth is pretty much required with her. And even after the Hellmouth nerf, which I assume will be sacrifice combat action, I think she will be the one caster to still. I don't want to say the one, but she will definitely still run them.
Yeah.
Because Iron Flesh makes it dumb. And then a lot of the counterplay involves putting models base to base or putting models just outside of threat range, and Gallows can just screw that up.
Yeah.
It's an expensive spell for her to cast, but it could be worth it if it gets you like 3 heavies.
Yeah. Cool.
So that's my final list.
I've seen it on the table. I liked it.
Scott, do you have any comments?
I gotta admit,
It's no
like, the thought of I gotta admit, the Blightedness Raptors. So, defense 17, reposition 5 with dodge.
And with Iron Flesh on them, their armor 17 with 5 boxes.
They're 17.
I don't think you'll have Iron Flesh on them a lot, but you could. But you certainly could. I think most of it goes in the Swordsman, just because
Even just as a jamming unit, because they can go really far. They can charge really far, then dig deep and jam people.
Yeah, I've used
And
them as
17 models with dodge is kind of annoying to kill.
Yeah, that definitely is.
Yeah. You can't even get them with silly blast damage because they're just immune.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, like that actually kind of makes me like that's a bugaboo to deal with. That's really, really hard to handle because they're already really hard to deal with anyway. Because like poison guns on reposition 5 at speed 9, I think. Pretty sure it's speed 9.
They're speed.
Like that's already like that gives you such an amazing range to just be able to move up, shoot, reposition 5, play the threat range game, use terrain to your advantage, and then the turn you need to go in or the turn that you need to deliver if terrain's not working out in your favor, like the ability to make a defense 17 means that they have to overcommit so much to deal with them. So it's probably really strong. My only thought is like I feel like you want, and I don't know how it would work in there, but I feel like you want like one more spell martyr because I can see you getting into positions to where like you really want to throw out a gallows on one turn, and then the next turn you really want to get fury on something that might not be in a position where you want to put your caster, and it just feels like having like a second spell martyr would be really, really strong.
Sure.
And I don't know how good the Forsaken, or not the Forsaken, I'm sorry, but I don't know how good the Blighted, like I don't know how important the Blightedness Shepherd is.
Well, the same concept is having a bubble that you can force in that's far outside. Because with the Nerf being able to sprint back, you kind of want to be able to have the Sacrificial Shepherd to run up and be able to charge outside control and then come back.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
You could drop the Forsaken and take just 2 more shepherds, but I'm not sure that's enough fury management for her. Because
I didn't think you really had fury problems in that list.
Well, the game we played was a little weird, but
It was.
I think
and
typically
most turns when you go all out, you're going to want to be able to survive because of your feet.
Well, I think most turns you're going to be full. The beasts are going to be pretty close. I mean, the Nerf's going to be full pretty much every turn. Mm-hmm. The Angel's going to have probably 2 on it at least every turn, and the Seraph's usually full.
I don't know. Maybe it was just because she was spending so much fury casting upkeeps all the time when we played.
She with the Succubus, she's a 4 fury caster.
Yeah,
and then she cycles 1, so she usually camps 1 to 2. She usually camps 2 or nothing.
Yeah. Or it's if she doesn't gallows. If she gallows, she's like definitely empty.
Yes. So if she goes empty, she can probably handle it, but I just don't want to be in a position where you have to go empty to hold. Because so if the Nerf's full, the Angel's got 2 and the Seraph's got 3, so that's 8. If you have 3 shepherds, that's down to 5. So you have to handle that, which I think is a pretty typical turn. You have to have you can only camp 1. Mm-hmm. That's assuming you don't lose any shepherds early. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
I think that Forsaken's pretty required. The Nist Warlord maybe could go.
Yeah, maybe.
I like him.
He usually hangs out in the back. And with Fury Swordsman, you're probably not expecting to leave stuff alive.
Yeah, you're not. Exactly.
So precision strike's not very important.
Yeah, you can put Fury on him, and he blows things up real good.
Yeah.
But it's still probably better on other things.
Yeah.
So you might...
Yeah, Fury on him, it sounds amazing, but it's literally just 6 damage, so...
Sure.
There's probably better places to put it.
Like even if you put it on the Seraph and charge him in, that's 9 damage or 12 damage.
At least 9. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I put the Warlord in basically because he's new and I wanted to try him out.
Yeah.
He could go. So that would be another Spell Martyr and leave me 4 points for something.
And would a Stalker be terrible?
1 Deathstalker is not as good as 2, obviously, but maybe.
He'd complement the Raptors pretty well, and the Raptors might draw some attention away from him.
Sure. And, him jamming in, he's Def 18. I definitely see the draw of the Striders that Jake played.
Just does the defense.
Yeah, you can just jam them in, and them being Def 18 with dodges.
Kind of annoying.
Super annoying. And you can put Iron Flesh on them, and that's... A lot of lists can't deal with stealth models that mean to blast.
Yeah. Especially at a distance, since they do have reposition.
Another thing you could do is...
They do have reposition, right?
Yes. Reposition 3 with the UA. Another thing you could do is... You have to work some points around, but I think her with... Grotesque Raiders might be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Because of the stealth, no blast.
Stealth, no blast, and then they get up to POW 15 with Fury and Gang.
Yeah, they're not slouches.
So I can say from playing Irusk 2 with Kayaze, it's exceptionally strong. Now, obviously, I think the Grotesques out-threat the Kayaze by, I think, about an inch or so. I think they're one speed higher.
10.5 versus 9.5. You are correct.
Do they actually?
You are correct.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. But even with that, like the Kayaze, just watching my opponents just have no answer to them coming in is hilarious.
Sure.
Because it's amazing. Like everybody talks about how there's not a lot of blast damage. There might not be a ton of blast damage.
Well,
people don't take it.
There might not be a lot
exists.
in terms of just like tons and tons and tons of models seeing play on the table. But there are a lot of key models that all have blast functions that show up in tons of lists.
I don't know if
it shows up everywhere.
Right. I think there's just enough blast damage a lot of times.
A lot of lists that cut short on ways to kill infantry try and make up for it with blast damage. So introducing the no blast mechanic really cuts those lists' legs out from under them.
Sure.
When you play an infantry heavy list.
I mean, even just swordsmen. So, I mean, they're not stealth, but being immune to blast.
It's like the double victor list. If you remove if you had solid ground against that double victor list,
oh god,
then it's like he's just praying to light everything on fire. And even with lighting everything on fire, like I Rust 2 specifically, having tough on everybody, plus the chance for it to go out, plus like if you're playing shield wall troops, the chance to not break armor, you end up killing like 1 in 8 guys you actually fucking light on fire.
Yeah.
Like it's not great.
Yep. You think the succubus is? I mean, it's a fury.
She's pretty important in there, I think. But I mean, she's cuttable. I mean, it's not absolutely required, but she's always going to want to do a free upkeep.
Sure. No, I understand, but if you cut her
and Blizzard on her is pretty nice because on non-feat turns she's pretty vulnerable.
She is. If you cut her and the Warlord, you can get the second spell Martyr and then 2 Deathstalkers.
Mm-hmm.
Or a Nissa Revolve. Or a Naga. It's just there's a lot of things you can do with 8 points in Legion. 4 points, not so much, but 8 points is a pretty sweet slot.
Mm-hmm. Deathstalkers are 4 now.
Yeah.
Why are they not 5 points?
I know. Because they ignore tough now.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I honestly would probably consider trying the list with double Deathstalkers. Because, man, you can open up so many holes with them.
Sure.
You could do...
To allow your Nerf, Seraph, and Angelius to just get where they need to go.
You could do the minimalist shooting package to try and force people into you. So, like, double Deathstalker, Seraph, and then maybe one other piece, like a cheap piece.
The Raptors.
Maybe I want something cheaper, and then you could play, like,
Tariff.
Swordsman Triple Scythian.
I've actually thought about a Ravagore.
Ravagor's not bad either. Yeah, we talked about how Ravagor's with Fury or something.
It's insane.
It does so much damage.
And then it's such a good gun. And with Fury Ravagore, pound 19 and a pound 8. Yeah, 2 pound 19s and a pound 18 initial.
Yeah, because it picked up a bite attack.
Yeah.
For some fucking reason.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, they're like, you know that chassis where everyone took the 2 without the bite? Let's give those bites. Fucking Christ.
Yep.
But yeah,
but you would start to be kind of reimagining the list altogether.
No, sure, and that's well, we talked about that, and I said that's pretty much where I think the list needs to be, unless you're targeting a specific matchup, unless you just completely start over.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a pretty well balanced list. I think maybe cutting the Warlord. I don't know if he's right for this list. I think he's right in a lot of lists, but yeah, Scott, I do like the idea of a second spell martyr. And then so that gives you 4 points left. 8 if you cut the succubus. So you could put a UA on the swordsman.
Yeah, I like UA on swordsman.
I do too.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be really good. That UA
less than multi
freaking
infantry.
champ.
Sure, no, the UA is very good. I think he's
especially
very
on
good.
feet turn. That guy's gonna be fucking annoying.
Yep.
It's like, I'll just charge him, defensive strike. I'll charge him again. I missed. He dodges away. And now he's going to counter-charge me. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's... Oh, God.
Yeah, it's like I charge this swordsman, I counter-charge
shit.
you. I charge him, I defensive strike you. I charge him again, he dodges.
But like Anissa Reval and the 2 Deathstalkers are also super... I don't know, maybe not Anissa.
I don't know.
She's not bad.
She's not bad.
Richie's been playing Anissa a lot lately, like testing her out, and I don't know, every time I look at that model, like, she feels like a really good solo, but she does nothing for, like, she does, like, virtually nothing for the Nis Raptors. And, like...
She makes them red 8.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's not nothing. I'm not saying that's not nothing. But it just feels like for 8 points, you can get another model that will just do, like, you can get, like, 2 Deathstalkers, which I think are going to influence the game more heavily than...
I think it depends a lot, because
if your choice is 2 Deathstalkers or Anissa, I go with 2 Deathstalkers.
I don't know, because as popular as Cavalry is getting, Deathstalkers do nothing against Cavalry, and Anissa eats Cavalry alive.
Well, you've still got Raptors in the list.
So you kill the entire unit instead of half the unit in one turn.
Do you? Are most Cav high enough defense that you can't kill them?
It's just Anissa can kill. She prays them and kills 2 most of the time. She at least kills 1 because she gets 2 shots into 1. But like Storm Lances, she's dice off 5, so on average she kills 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just different things.
So but even against infantry, I mean, it's 2 shots, so you're losing 2 shots from the Deathstalker, sure, but she's a safer model. She can be further away, and also buffs the Raptors that you're already taking. I don't know. I think you might be underselling Anissa a little bit.
She's good.
And I might be.
But a Naga is also another
I
potential.
don't know if you're really worried about Cav in your list, though, are you?
So they out-threat a lot of this list.
The Cav are good on the feet turn for sure because of their accuracy.
The Raptors can definitely shoot down a couple of them. Probably not all of them, but then the Nerf could probably charge and kill.
And then the Seraph maybe probably shoots another one down.
Sure.
So you probably kill 3 or 4 of them anyway, if that's what you're targeting.
Yeah,
I just think the 8 points, regardless of what we're talking about, I think the 8 points is more valuable elsewhere. And the only reason I would suggest Deathstalkers is because the rest of your list breaks armor.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Naga, though. Because I don't know if this list breaks buffed armor.
The double stacking, ignoring, and damage buff is nice. Because that lets the Nerf get through pretty much any heavy.
You're also 1 point away from the Black Rush Shard.
Naga's probably fine. It gives you another gun, but it probably creates more Fury issues. But with the way your list works, you have multiple targets that you can double buff and send in.
Now, this is all predicated on dropping the Succubus, which I'm still not sold that's the right way to go.
Yeah.
Because that leaves her with 3 Fury a turn to work with, so all she can basically do is cycle. Cycle 1, upkeep, and she's done.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe you just don't upkeep all 3, unless you really, really need them. Iron Flesh is nice, but in that list, it's mostly situational.
Sure.
So that's what you're talking about, is do I want to get to upkeep Iron Flesh every turn? And are you going to pay points?
The other 2 are definitely, for sure, upkeeps, but I don't know, upkeeping Iron Flesh on a Hellmouth is really good.
It is.
Or herself.
It is. That's pretty much what Butcher does, unless he has Chaosies.
Sure.
Like, hi.
Or if they have blast damage, you put it on the Swordsman so they don't just die. I don't know. I'm not sold on the Succubus, but I'll have to play around with it a little bit. I am sold on the Warlord going, though. So I just need to find something to fill that 4 points.
All right.
5 points.
Well, I think that's pretty much all we're going to get out of Fiona tonight.
Sure.
Anybody else want to talk about a new caster? Nope. All right, moving on. Scott's dead.
Scott died.
Scott, why did you die?
Scott is not dead.
Well, you
Scott
weren't
is
talking.
not dead.
We gave you the
Still
opportunity.
alive.
We talked for like 3 minutes, and you didn't say anything.
I was preparing. I was listening with the intent to reply. So.
Does anyone want to talk about another new caster?
Crickets.
Yeah, I do.
All right, there we go.
P-Mag.
It only took
So-
3 tries.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Third time's a
Scott.
charm, right? So
Except your stuff because every time Max.
I've been tinkering around with Zadesh a little bit, and the list I have is really, really weird. It's 6 points down right now because I don't know exactly where I want to put those 6 points. But the list right now is Zadesh with an Agonizer, the Spoiler, and then 2 Titan Gladiators.
I'm going to ask, because we've been looking at this, even if everybody hasn't, sorry. Why do you have Despoiler in there?
So the reason why I have Despoiler in there is because he does help Zadesh's flank, which I know is probably a trap.
He helps
but more
Zadesh's
importantly-
flank?
Whoa.
Yeah.
So,
What are you talking about? How does he help Zadesh's flank?
no, he says he helps Zadesh the flank rule, not the flank part of the board.
Right. No, that's what I thought, but I'm still
Yeah,
he flanks with
Dark
War
Shroud.
Beasts?
Because he has
Yeah,
Dark Shroud.
because he flanks with War Beast, so he has Dark Shroud.
So if he's engaging something, then Zadesh gets flank and Dark Shroud.
Correct.
Zadesh isn't going to be attacking a lot of stuff, though. Right?
Well, so I think
Right?
I think
Hold on! I need to know that you agree with me here. Scott. Zadesh is not
So I think
Xerxes
that-
2.
Xerxes
Zadesh
2
is
is
not
not
Xerxes.
Xerxes 2.
Xerxes 2 is legit.
Xerxes 2 is not Butcher.
He's not Butcher.
No,
Zadesh
he's
is not
Only
Butcher.
Khador can count on putting their casters into heavies.
Or Legion.
So let me defend the decision a little bit.
We're waiting.
So not only does Dark Shroud help with Zadesh, but Despoiler also gives Black Arts. So Zadesh actually gets to upkeep a spell for free, and that's really, really important for his Fury math, because he essentially can upkeep Inviolable Resolve and still keep putting out 3 clouds, which has been it's been pretty valuable so far. I've gotten a couple games in with him, not a whole lot, but a couple. So the spoiler's been solid. The thing is like I have 2 Titan Gladiators in the list in the battle group. I'm not comfortable with the Titan Gladiators. I put them in there because I know Titan Gladiators, and I play them a lot in just about every list, like every other Skorne player does. The Titan Gladiators are going to change. I definitely want to put in an Erratus Soldier.
Okay. You could, like, there's almost like a War Beast that's the exact same points as a soldier that's already in your list that is bad that you could trade out for, like, a soldier.
Well, that's just it, though. I'm not entirely sold that the spoiler is bad for him.
So let me ask.
I am.
Let me ask you this, Scott, before we get. Well, no. Let me finish your list, and then we'll talk.
Okay.
So go ahead and finish.
So 2 Void Spirits. The reason why I'm running Void Spirits is something that I personally have been having trouble with in Skorne is being able to not lose on scenario once I decide, like, if I have to commit to a zone on one side of the table, I tend to, like, because Skorne wants to brick up really hard, I tend to have a lot of trouble being able to not lose on scenario or just to let the scenario spiral out of control on the opposite zone. So I've been using Void Spirits to kind of band-aid that problem until I can learn the faction a little better. So that's why I have 2 Void Spirits in there. They're also exceptionally strong. On the feat turn, if a Void Spirit goes in, it is Mat 8. If it's against a living target, he's going to pick up an additional die. So, like, it's not for nothing.
Do they still do the explosion thing when they kill stuff? Eruption of Ash or whatever it is?
No, they
just have killing spree or whatever?
Yeah, and then they jump once.
Okay. Go ahead.
And then I have Immortals in there. And the reason why I have Immortals in the list is because Immortals, they can't get moved, that are Arm 19 and Def 11 with Vengeance, and Defensive Strike on the feet is actually really, really strong, because Defensive Strike, like, the feet cranks them up to Mat 8, and it cranks them up to POW 15.
14.
On Immortals?
Sorry, I'm talking about Void Spirits.
Void Spirits
right on
will go
Immortals.
Yeah. So Immortals are going to go to Power Strength 15 on the feet turn. The thing that actually does is, like, it really, what it has done against my opponents is it has forced them to make a really, really tough decision. If you can get the Immortals far enough forward, which is why you have to have the Extoller Advocate with them, but if you can get the Immortals far enough forward, it really puts them into a position to where, like, they don't want to come into you, because Defensive Strike is Defensive Strike and you don't want to just take free attacks. But even when they have to come into you, you're still, like, you're going to get the free attack, then you're going to trigger Vengeance, then you're going to activate on your next turn. So you can get a lot of efficacy out of that unit, depending on how it's positioned. And that's why the Extoller Advocate's in there, because Incorporeal for a turn, really, really strong for getting them in places where you want them to be, especially where Pathfinder is needed. Next, we have the Praetorian Carax, and then the Tycom to support the Praetorian Carax. The Carax are in there because Carax are Carax. On the feet turn, though, especially in Shield Wall, like Mat 7...
Yeah, I think we understand what Carax do. So...
Yeah, we're with you that Carax are good. Anyone that doesn't think Carax are good should reevaluate their lives.
Sure. So...
and then the Tycom is there to make sure the Carax get where they need to go.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But to cut you off. What is the point? What's your idea behind the list? Like, what are you going to play it into? What is kind of your goals in the game?
The way I have been playing this, and I've been playing this into typically like combined arms lists. So the goal for the list is essentially to draw myself into a position to where I can eventually clear a zone and then dominate the zone, because I don't have to be that scared of holding Zadesh like completely back. If it's a list with a lot of guns, but they don't have an ability to ignore clouds, the list has been very solid into that. I'm a little concerned, obviously, about like hardcore dedicated gun lines that can ignore clouds. So, like, obviously Legion, Signar is a concern, but I don't think this would be my list to drop into them anyway. So, I think it's probably solid.
So, what are you pairing it with? Because those two lists are concerned. So, what would you drop into them?
So I think what I want to drop into that is probably Zal 1.
So your other list is expected to do all the damage, basically.
Yeah, essentially. And I think Zal 1 can get there. Now, I'm also learning...
Depending on the list, I don't actually know if that's. I don't know if Zal 1 is that great into the gun lines that you're talking about.
Zal doesn't particularly like playing into gun lines.
Because he's got to deliver his infantry. His infantry isn't especially fast. And so if you talk about slow with Cyclones, which you see, or even Stormwall, or you're talking about Kane 2, you're talking about Lilith 3, those lists can start to pick up quite a bit of infantry. Now you can also just kill Zal, who doesn't have any great defensive mechanics.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I guess what I see in Zadesh is actually a caster that can play an armor brick that works into guns. Because I think he likes soldiers.
Sure.
I think he can take either a mammoth and put Inviable on it, or he can take Tiberian and put Inviable on it. And you've got several Arm 23 beasts. And Arm 23 just you can't shoot that off the table.
Yeah. If you do the math on it, it takes like an entire army to kill one. And if you're only losing one a turn, that gives you a long time to get there.
I don't think this list takes advantage of countercharge especially well, which I think is one of his most powerful rules. The Immortals they're good on the feet against other infantry, but I don't think they're that great against other heavies. I think they'll either ignore them or they will send in stuff that can get around the POW 14 defensive strikes. So, I don't know. Maybe they're okay, but...
I don't like the spoiler.
Yeah, I don't like the spoiler either.
I think the spoiler should be a soldier.
Or Tiberian.
Okay.
Or Tiberian. But I think soldier would be a good place to start. I like the 2 gladiators. You don't need 2 gladiators, but I like them.
I don't know if this is...
Well, like I said, I put the list together with the intent to just... Because whenever I'm trying to discover a caster, what I tend to do is I tend to just, take an idea and just go, okay, this might be neat, or this might be neat. Sure. And then I'll just kind of throw it all on a list. And then over the course of several games, I'll start cultivating the list and go, okay, this is a bad matchup.
Sure.
I don't like this in this particular direction. Then I'll start, modifying it. So admittedly, that's why this list looks as god-awful as I'm sure it probably does.
It's not that I don't like what Despoiler does in the list. I think the free upkeep and Dark Shroud are nice. I do not think they're anywhere close to worth 18 points. If we were talking he was 12 points, there'd be an argument.
Yeah.
But at 18 points, that gets you one of the best war beasts in your faction. And that's a hard sell. Because when you look at it, if he gives Dark Shroud, which is nice, but you're talking about primarily trying to use it with the caster, and even if you don't, even if you use it elsewhere, if you look at his attacks, he's got a POW 15 and 2 POW 13s. If you just put in a normal war beast, you get the damage that he gives you back. So you're not losing any damage by replacing him. You're gaining a lot of survivability by putting in a soldier, and you're giving your caster a sack pawn target that actually wants to hang around him because he's slow.
You also got the sentry with shield guard.
You could take a... Well, he just has sack pawn war beast. So shield guard doesn't help the caster, but yes.
Sure. I think the Immortals, maybe look at Scarab Packs instead. Because then you can take advantage of Battle Charged. They create kind of this... Not the same problems. Well, actually...
Also Reptile Hounds, but yes.
Potentially Reptile Hounds. You can get...
Flanking, countercharge, plus... so you have you just have a couple Reptile Hounds up front. They charge into one. Before you do your defensive strike, you countercharge with another one and giving flank to your defensive strike.
Sure.
And if you kill with the countercharge, you just don't defensive strike. You've got 2 models with flank with defensive strike left.
And they're 2 for 7.
Yeah, so you get 4 Reptile Hounds for the... I don't know if that's the same footprint, though. I think I'd go with the Scarabs.
It's different, sure.
I don't know.
I don't think Zadesh wants to play into gun lines.
I do, actually.
You can build him to play into them, but I think his kit just particularly dominates melee. Having countercharge wherever you want it.
Yeah, but there's other casters that just in Skorne that dominate melee. I think he's got... Rasheth's all one.
What do they particularly do against melee? Like Rasheth. Rasheth is good.
I don't necessarily see Rasheth as...
Because he's got several strength debuffs.
I mean, army-wide debuff is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet. He also has clouds he can put down.
But most of the actual dedicated gun lines are going to get around the clouds anyway.
No, I'm not talking about.
You're talking about Rashad.
I'm talking about Rashad. So he has similar cloud tech. He has an army-wide strength debuff, and he has several strength buffs for his army that aren't feat dependent. I think Zadesh having an armor buff for Tiberian or a Mammoth is strong. I think him having placeable clouds that he doesn't have to run things to shoot Breath of Corruptions at is better than Rasheth into gun lines. And a lot of gun lines can ignore, so you just don't.
Sure.
And also, a gun line can just straight remove Rasheth. Zadesh doesn't have those problems.
Right.
Zadesh takes a win condition away from gun lines, and that's valuable.
He does within reason, but I think you have to like sell out against guns,
Sure,
which might just be Skorne's
so
issue.
that's what I'm kind of advocating for. Is you just
Do you think you just build an anti-gun line and just expect his normal anti-melee to just win through?
I think you will.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so after
So you're taking
consideration, then.
double sword
So
or
I guess the
Tiberian?
list is.
Yeah, I mean I've got a Zadesh list on here on my war room with double soldier Tiberian in it. Yes.
And a gladiator, obviously.
I don't know if I took a gladiator actually,
This scrub over here.
because I think I think they're just gonna kind of come into you. I don't think you need the gladiator though. Being able to
You
charge,
might need Pathfinder.
yeah, being able to charge over walls is nice. What is he, Lord Tyrant Zadesh?
You have too many lists.
No, I don't.
I think you do.
Brandon,
You've had to scroll 4 times.
I've seen yours.
But mine's organized.
Mine's organized. It's alphabetical, like real alphabetical, not Brandon alphabetical.
Yeah, nobody knows that.
It's by faction, then alphabetical. That makes sense.
All right, so somehow that list is not there anymore, but it was
You deleted it because it was bad for bads.
probably. It had Carax. It had 2 the soldiers are expensive.
You put Carax in a list?
Yeah. I'm coming around on them.
Coming around on best unit in score.
No,
Best unit in score.
they're not. They're not terrible.
It's the buddy system. Every beast handler gets a buddy Carax, and then you're fine.
Actually, that's a great point. Hold
Did
on.
you never think of that?
No. That's not what I'm going for. Not at all.
Yeah, you take like the pain giver beast handler guys with stealth.
No,
and
I
you're
get-
like, hey, buddy system.
I get that. Scott, why don't you have Paingiver Beast Handlers in this list?
It's
Oh,
almost like he was ready to
to
spend his 6 points on something.
Yeah. I think I found what you spend your points on.
Oh,
Can we now rate his list? I'm going for 1 out of 3 wampum.
well,
how many
it's got to
mad-
be on the Chile scale of fail.
That's
How many
that's
Mad
a fail.
Dogs does it rate?
0 mad dogs.
0 Mad Dogs. I agree.
That's how many that list would defeat.
One when it blows itself up.
But that's not defeating a mad dog. That's
Isn't it?
defeating yourself.
The Karox around the Mad Dog just kind of like, why did you do that?
Hi. We're Carax. You know what Carax would be good with? Kador. I should have Carax.
So the Tyrant can affect the... I don't know if I like the Tycom either.
I think it's a luxury.
He's expensive. He is a luxury.
He does make the Immortals fast.
Sure.
Because the Immortals get to run like 12 inches then, right?
If the Extoller has a soul.
Can't they still do it with an Ancestral Guardian? Or did they lose that?
No, they no longer get the Extensional Guardian speed up. But yeah, push to the limit does give +2 speed.
Oh, it's speed.
When making a full advance. So that's no running, right?
I
Yeah,
think
that's
it
no
is.
running.
No,
but
I think it is.
it's no running.
Yeah, no, if you actually read the way running works,
Yeah, it's...
because I believe the way running is worded is you use your movement to make a full advance equal to double your current movement, or double your speed plus movement. Let's check. Because it works on charging, and charging isn't a full advance. Run.
He's on my back again,
The
Max.
model advances up to twice its current speed in inches, and when the model uses its normal movement to run.
No,
But
no.
forfeit
Full
its combat
advance.
action.
A full advance is a separate
There's a
thing.
tank behind us.
So it is the thing you can do. You can forfeit. You can aim. You can make a full advance, or you can run.
You can't charge.
Yeah,
can-
a full
I
advance
don't-
is just
You can also charge. But a full advance is a
So you're
separate.
saying you'll get movement bonuses that add to your full advance with a charge?
If it specifically says when you no, you don't.
Well, everyone that plays Warmachine disagrees with you.
Well, the rules disagree with them because
Well, I think it's a phraseology thing that
no, it's not. It's literally right here. It says full advance. Model
No.
advances up to its current speed in inches. Charge a completely separate rules entry, which you
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's not the way people play it. That's not the way it's been ruled.
I think. Well, so I
Because
think
coup de main affects charges.
I think
and
most-
it says when making a full advance.
they say normal advances, which is different.
What does Kudlane say?
I'm looking up. No, it's just when advancing is part of their normal movement, which would apply to charges.
So yours specifically says full advance.
Yeah, so push to the limit does not affect runs, does not affect charges. So that makes me like the Tycom even less. I guess it would affect the Karax when they're shield walling, but I don't know. I don't think it's worth 6 points.
Walking 8 and shield wall is not bad.
It's not, but 6 points is a lot. He hits decently hard. He's a powerful weapon master. He also can give them Pathfinder. I don't know. I think he's a luxury. So beast handlers are what, 5? 5 points.
Min units 5. Yeah.
They used to be the same as mechanics, which is what throws me because they're not anymore.
I also the agonizer in this list. I'm not sold on because you don't really have any super tanky things that he really pushes over the top.
Gladiator with Inviolable Resolve plus that, it's based on armor 22. It's hard to remove.
23.
Oh, that's right for 19.
But yeah, I guess. But you can. I think you could also pretty easily ignore that.
He's pretty cheap though. I mean, I think an agonizer is almost always worth it when you have 3 heavies. It's like not. It's like saying I'm not going to take this Krillstone. Like it's hard argument when you have 3 heavies.
He does protect him well with clouds.
It affects everything too. So like.
Yeah, I know.
My Titan's
probably worth it.
Maybe. I just
also gives you a sack pawn target.
Sure.
Fuck that gun.
And it gives you a. He lets you repulse to clear a zone to win. I don't know.
It's cuttable, but it's nice. I would certainly cut Tycom before I'd cut the Agonizer.
Sure, yeah, so that gives you 7 points to play with. Second Agonizer.
I was about to say it.
Don't do it. Don't do a second Agonizer.
Just drop the Agonizer and drop 1 Gladiator and put in 2 soldiers.
You have the 2 Void Spirits, too. You could probably cut one of them.
I kind of like the Void Spirits. I think they're underutilized right now. But if you're already taking 2 units of infantry, I think they're excessive.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like I'm primarily crutching on Void Spirits just because they're kind of a pain in the butt to remove.
Yeah, and if you just want to incorporate models, take Feral Geist. They're like super cheap.
Yeah.
How many points is Void Spirit? 4?
4.
Yeah, so
4.
For the price of 1 Void Spirit, you get 2 Feral Geists.
And I think 1 Feral Geist is a lot of times enough to just hold that zone that you're not in. Yeah. And I don't think
it's either going to do it or it's not.
This list is not particularly tanky. I don't think you got 2 units of infantry that can spread out.
I assume Inviolable Resolve goes on the Immortals because R19 is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Arm 19 and they can't be moved, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually really good for stopping slams and such. But yeah, go on.
I don't know. I think I still would turn the Immortals maybe and look at Scarab Packs. And I think I would try to get at least 1 soldier in the list. Siberian, maybe. Defensive Strike, though, with Crit Smite is pretty good.
You could take the Archidons, right? Don't they have Crit Pitch?
They do.
I mean, that's your argument. I still say take a Mammoth, because Mammoth having Crit Pitch and being able to
I think a Mammoth is pretty
Counterblast
legit.
plus Defensive Strike gets real frustrating. Because not only do you have 2 chances to crit them, but you're just going to get hit twice by a Pound 22 Mammoth, which is not fun. It's like you just might lose a Warp Wolf coming in on that. It's like, it's Man 8. Like, it might just fucking kill you.
Yeah, it might.
Not, let alone take out a fucking Spirit or something.
Actually, I might go with the Mammoth in this list. Mammoths are base arm 19?
20. No, they're 20s.
Yeah. Are they 20?
Mammoth is 20.
So that makes it 22. Let's build a list.
I'm building a list.
I'm building a list.
I am building a list.
Zadish.
He's a radish. Alright, so we're adding in Mammoth first.
Sure.
We can cut it if we hate it.
2 soldiers?
That's a funny way of saying write it down.
It is. Oh my god, the red done is 12 points.
No, we're not taking a write it down. Not
3
doing
initials. Hold on.
We're not doing it.
Oh, he has Spiny Growth. That's actually not bad. Alright, moving on.
Something else has spiny growth, doesn't it?
The Razor Worm. Which actually I might take a Razor Worm just for Spiny.
Just for Zadesh.
Yeah. He's going to be...
He has Sackpawn.
Yeah, and so you can get hit with spells in melee.
So take Orin. You're playing Skorne.
You can take Orin.
5 points!
Yeah, probably should take Orin, actually, with the Mammoth.
Yeah, definitely because of the Mammoth and because of Zadesh. That's a really good take. Agonizer, because you're taking a mammoth.
Yeah.
Eridus Soldier.
I would-
fuck people.
And a gladiator.
Gladiator, which is at the bottom. All right.
So how many points do you have left? Like 2?
That's 49 of 75.
That's it? So you have 30-ish points? 25?
26-ish points.
So I think at this point you take kind of your infantry, so would...
I threw in Orin Midwinter, so we're at 54. We're throwing in Max Beast Handlers.
I would say Max Beast Handlers.
Because with feet, they're not even bad. That
They're
leaves
really
us
not.
with-
If you jam with the Beast Handlers, or put them in front of an infantry unit in charge lanes, like they're at, 7 and with anatomical? It's
And
not bad.
defensive
Yeah.
strike.
Yeah. How much are Scarab packs?
I want to say they used to be 4, so 8. They're 10 now.
Scarabs are 10. Yeah.
Carax then.
They are 11-12. They have Carapace, so they're 11-16. They dig in, so they're 15-16 against guns with 10 boxes.
What's their POW?
Base 8, they have the hunting pack rules, which with the new rules is interesting because you get it 360, not just in normal melee range.
Half-inch melee though, right?
I believe so, yeah. And then with feet, they also have crit paralysis.
I think I'd go for Carax, and with that last 4 points, get a Extoller Soul Ward.
Last 3 points.
You said you had 15 points.
We have 14 points.
You lied.
I did not lie. I said 14.
Yeah.
Go to the
It's
fucking
fine,
tank.
though, because the Soul Word is 3 points, so...
Oh, he is?
points out, it's fine.
What the
Yeah, he's
shit, Skorne?
Scorn rules.
Remember, this faction is terrible.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, that gives you eyeless sight on the mammoth, which is good.
All right, so the list we're currently looking at is Lord Tyrant Zedash, the Mammoth, Agonizer, Eridus Soldier, Titan Gladiator, Orin Midwinter, Extoller Soul Ward, Max Paingiver Beast Handlers, and Max Carax.
No, there was an Agonizer in the
There is
list?
an Agonizer.
How far is the Agonizer's bubble?
It's
8 inches.
8 inches, yeah.
So if he's base to base to the back of the mammoth, you can't...
Unless you have Chain Strike, you can't fail to be in. And you put Zedesh on one side of him and the soldier on the other. And there's no way to get line of sight to him without being in the back. And Zedesh is perfectly safe against guns.
Sure.
And with Orin Midwinter, you also
Now you can... The mammoth will never have line of sight block to it, right? You can see through the clouds to see the mammoth.
correct.
But you can stop...
You can also just use him as line of sight blocking. I mean, armor 22 with an agonizer behind it's pretty safe. And
Sure.
you've got your arcane vortex to keep them safe as well.
You can use it to keep the gladiator from being... So that you force them to shoot the mammoth or the soldier.
You can also just drop it in front of people so they can't charge.
So for support, you've got the Soul Ward, you've got Orin and
Beast handlers.
the Beast
And
Handlers.
agonizer, technically.
That's kind of a lot.
It's not bad, but a lot of it does work.
Orin does work.
Orin does work. Beast handlers can do work, especially with Zedesh.
They can. I
And
think,
with Carax, they don't die very easy.
I think a lot of times they're going to be doing their support things on the feet turn, and they're just going to be mat 5. I don't know.
Well, for what it's... I mean, like,
do
for
you
what
want
it's
to
worth...
min
like,
the Beast handlers and have 4?
So I'm just thinking if you drop the Soul Ward and the Agonizer, that's 10 points. I wonder if you could spend that 10 points on working models and have it be a little better.
Put a Tyrant Commander.
Yeah, there you go. Got it.
But what are you using the?
I wouldn't mind dropping the Agonizer for Reptile Hounds, but I don't know if 2 of them is enough. I think you need at least 4.
Sure.
I don't think... Because you don't even get that from main Beast Handlers, I think. Because it's what? It's only 2 points for the last 2 Beast Handlers. It's cheaper than the first 4 are. So you're not really spending a whole lot on the last 2 guys.
That list does not really take advantage of Battle Charger very well.
I think it does more than you think. The Eridus Soldier can create some real problems. Especially with the new charge rules, being able to charge behind people and then drag them away. Because it's not like it's going to die to free strikes. It gets +4 armor versus free strikes.
Sure.
You also upkeep the stupid thing on it.
Inviolable Resolve, so it's
you
armor
put-
25.
Yeah, you put Inviolable Resolve on it, so it's like literally ignoring free strikes, and you just charge behind someone and pull it away from the Mammoth.
Yeah, maybe.
And with Defensive Strike on the Mammoth. I don't know, I think it does very well versus heavies, and it's very hard to shoot off the table.
I'd just like to maybe see a couple lights in there.
I would like to see
Like Brutes. I always loved
the
Brutes.
Cyclopses, but Brutes are good. Cyclops still has that thing where you can You use an animus, right?
Yeah.
It's a shaman, sorry, not Cyclops shaman.
Yeah,
Cyclops Shaman.
What does he
Craft
have?
tells with primal magic can be forced to cast the animus of a non-character faction war beast. So you can put up Sandstorm within 7, then you put 2 clouds in front of him. Which is kind of annoying.
Sandstorm.
Oh, never mind. We don't take a Hydra. Whoops.
What's the
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we have the wrong Gargantuan for Sandstorm.
It's the Cyclops Brute, you mean?
No, the soldier.
Soldier. Savage. Cyclops Savage. It's the future sight. Prescience.
No, the Aridus soldier.
Aridus Soldier, sorry. It's track.
Is it?
Heightened metabolism.
Ooh.
Snacking.
I mean,
It's not terrible.
It's RFP. It's situational.
Yeah. When it gets into a unit infantry, it's just like, I'm going to eat these. These are mine. It's only a one-cost animus. And,
I think this is where I would start. It's kind of a list that's pretty decent into a gun line. I don't know if it beats like Sloan, but I think
that soldier's going to be real fucking annoying.
it is. But it's only one soldier,
True.
and if they have Stormwall or even Cyclopses like that, they can just chart defenders.
Again, it depends on this. If you're playing an absolute sellout for breaking armor Sloan list, then it's annoying. But if you're playing a normal Sloan list, I don't think they can eat it. I think it's too much.
I think a normal Sloan list will have like 2 defenders or have
I think they'll have 2 defenders. That doesn't kill this list.
in melee.
Defensive strike? I don't know how you mistime the feat with this list.
Sure, I agree.
Like what? They're going to come in and take on the Mammoth and take 2 crit throws with POW 22s, and then it's going to be an armor 24 Mammoth? What the fuck are they going to do? They're going to look at it.
Alton could be a problem.
Ult would be annoying, assuming that you don't have the shield guard from Tiberian anymore, but yeah.
Well, you don't.
So, right, but they shoot the Mammoth, but it's still going to take a long time to kill.
What would it take?
And they have to shoot it every turn.
What would it take to get Tiberian in this list?
You have to drop a soldier in this list, or the Mammoth.
Yeah, I don't think you play Tiberian in the Mammoth.
Not and the Mammoth. You only get 1 elephant. Although you still have a gladiator behind all that.
What if you just drop the gladiator for Tiberian? You need like 8 points though, right? What is Tiber's like
I think he's
20? So you need 6 points.
22.
22. You need.
Oh, you need 8 points.
It's
Jeez.
22, so you could drop.
You drop the Agonizer and min the piece.
I don't like an Agonizer. If you're putting
Well, I mean, if
Tiberian
you're planning
in,
against Sloan, then yeah, it doesn't matter. But you want the Agonizer against everyone else.
yeah, you do.
And he's on ADR now, so just plan.
That's true. That's actually...
All of a sudden, the Mammoth comes out for 2 more soldiers, and you get fucked.
Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, I like that.
I bet you would. It's 2 more points. The Mammoth is 2 more points than 2 soldiers.
So you get
Get more stuff. Well, Farrow Geist isn't good into that. I guess it takes her quality attacks to kill it.
Yeah, Sloan does not want to shoot it.
But you're not contesting anything with it. They're not going in the zone.
Specifically with Sloan, no.
Sure.
And I guess this list...
But I mean, you drop the Soul Ward and the Mammoth. That gives you your 40 even points, even though you're 1 point over. You bring in 2 soldiers and you got 4 points left. So you put in, I don't know, more Beast Handlers to heal?
I'm pretty sure you can spend those points better.
I just don't know what's good for
I mean,
Skorne
at 4
for
points, you could add a Master Tormentor, and you could give yourself like some pretty significant anti-infantry capability.
Yeah, but he'll just die.
So-
She's got Guided Fire and True Sight. That guy's not getting anywhere.
Yeah, specifically against what you pull in against Sloan.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea what you would put in. You would probably
you
just
could
drop
just
the
dump a
Carax
Void
depending
Spirit
on
in.
their list, but you can't drop any more points.
No.
Or you leave the Mammoth in and just gut other things.
You get another soldier in there.
Yeah. Well, you remember you can only have 2 soldiers in the sideboard because that's 36 points.
Well, but you have 1 in your list, so you could have 3.
So you end up with 3 and a Mammoth and a Gladiator, depending on if you can drop enough stuff. Probably not. I think you have to drop the Gladiator at that point.
Yeah.
Let's see, 7, 18. You have to keep the Beast Handlers, I think. Yeah, that wouldn't be enough. Yeah, so you have to drop the Mammoth or the Gladiator. But I think dropping the Gladiator is an easy sell because those 3 Sentinels or soldiers are not going to fucking die.
No.
But you could bring in 2 Sentinels and a Soul. No, that's not.
Not against Sloan. That wouldn't matter.
It's just that they don't die. They're just models that get there.
Yeah,
and
like-
you just push the soldiers into the heavies, and still a fucking hunter's not going to kill a sentinel.
No, not even close.
Not anywhere close.
All right. Well, I think I like where the list is at.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Mammoth, Agonizer, Soldier, Gladiator, Orin Midwinter, Extoller, Soulward, Paingiver, Beast Handlers, and Praetorian Carax. I think that... Oh, wait, the Carax have a UA.
They do.
Or it's 4 points, though.
Yeah.
It's 4 points, and he's pretty much only granting Iron Zeal. So.
Iron Zeal's not bad, though. Iron Zeal plus
it's
Shield
not.
Wall is, again, more high-value shots that have to go into them. But, yeah, so if you had one more point floating, or if you could justify dropping Orin Midwinter, depending on what you're thinking you're going to play against.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, maybe get him in there.
You can't have just a UA in your sideboard, though, right?
No. Oh, unless they changed it in Mark 3, but
I don't
Mark
think
3
they
it
did.
had to be complete options.
Yeah.
Attachments had to be included.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely how it used to work. I don't know how it works now. I assume it's the same.
I'm pretty sure it's still the same.
Only scrubs play ADR.
It's true. I think Theme Force, you take Farrow models and you get a free Brigand UA.
What is it?
You want to tell them the whole thing first?
Is it all Farrow casters?
It's pretty much all Farrow. It's Farrow casters and Arcadius. Well, he's not a pig though, so I don't think he has the title.
Really?
I don't think he has the keyword Farrow.
Who?
Arcadius.
I thought he did. He's a Pharaoh Warcaster.
He was a Thornfall Warcaster. He's not a Pharaoh.
There's no such thing as Thornfall anymore, though.
Well, right. He's just a Minions Warcaster now.
Or is he?
He is.
Oh, and let's not forget Grind is coming out.
Grind is coming out.
Calm down, Brandon.
I'm so excited.
You now have a use for one of your other behemoths.
All right, here we go. Pulling it up. So, the army composition includes Minion Warlocks with the Feral Warlock special rule.
So Arcadius has it?
Dr. Arcadius.
Okay.
As a separate entry because he doesn't have the Feral Warlock special rule. Midas, who I guess doesn't either, which is
But
weird.
Midas is a thing. I don't... Just check. Someone check.
I'm
You're not in
checking.
War Room.
I'm not on War Room. I'm on the website.
You can take non-character Feral
I'm
War
looking.
Beasts. You can take Efreet models and units. You can take Pharaoh models and units. You can take Alton Ashley, Gudrun the Wanderer, Hutchuk, Rallick Warclaw, Saxon Oryx, Swamp Gobber Chef Solos, Victor Pendrake, and Rorschach Bride.
What about...
No, he's just a minion warlock.
Boom. Count
check
it.
the back?
Limited battle group.
Lame. All right.
So for every 20 points of Pharaoh units and battle engines, you can take one weapon crew unit, command attachment, or non-character solo free of cost.
That means if you take 2 battle engines, you get 2 weapon crews for free.
Truth.
Legit?
Well, not quite. They like 18
I
points.
thought they were 20. Most battle engines are 20 now, which is like...
I
a lot of them went up in cost.
don't think the Legion one's 20.
No, it's 19.
Oh, okay. So you have to take a weapon crew first.
So, Pharaoh War Beasts gain Retaliatory Strike, and you can have a 1 Pharaoh Commander unit with Ambush.
Nice.
So,
I like that's not tiers anymore. It's just like X.
all in all, I don't think it's that impressive. I mean,
I would agree. I mean, it's not game changing, but it's interesting.
it's so
And people that want to play Pharaoh will get something.
it's
out of
so
it.
broad that a lot of times you're just going to end up in this Theme Force, and you're like, well, I guess I get 10 points because my 2 Brigand UAs are free.
I feel like that's what it's going to be for every faction. Is they're going to have the you're playing your faction.
It doesn't
And
add anything that they normally can't take, does
No.
it?
nothing crazy. You do get 1 unit with ambush, which can be big, but I think that unit was probably designed that way
Well, yeah, it's
because they're the
commandos.
new ones, right?
The Commandos
Yeah.
aren't very impressive, so that makes sense that they would design them to have ambush because
Yeah.
they, I think, way overvalue ambush.
I mean, Boom Owlers definitely got designed with ambush.
They sure did.
And I
Retaliatory-
not bottom.
Retaliatory Strike on the War Beasts, I mean, they don't have any crit effects that really breaks that, so meh. I think a lot of times you'll be in that Theme Force and you'll end up with a free Brigand UA or something.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, I think that
that's
I'm
an
actually
interesting
really
question. So-
excited.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
But to cut you off.
if you take a Brigand unit with a UA, is that over 20 points?
I don't think so.
I think they're 15.
15 for so 19 probably.
Ah.
A lot of units are
Feral
19.
Brigands.
Like Iron Fangs are 19.
So-
These are 19.
Yeah, they're 19. So
Okay.
Farrow Brigands are 15, and the UA is.
But again,
4.
you just take 2 units of brigands with UAs and then throw in
2 weapons
one
crews or
weapon
something.
crew,
Yeah,
and then look, I got a free weapon crew and an extra attachment or whatever.
sure. Or a solo. It kind of sucks that it's not character.
Well, so you can't take Maximus.
Alton Ashley, Gudrun.
You can't take additionally. You can buy them and just supplement their points with UAs.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you still end up, I assume the weapon crew is the most expensive thing on the list.
I think it's 5. I think.
There's a 5-cost Farrow non-character solo.
I mean, the Brigand. Oh, Brigand is 4.
Warlade's 4, yeah.
Yeah, Razor Crew is 5.
Yeah, so you just take a bunch of Razor crews for 5 points, and Alton's free instead of you paying for the Razor crew.
Sure.
Except that you have to actually buy the Razor crew to get to 40, but
Right.
or take a unit of commandos
That have ambush.
that now have ambush.
Maybe it's not bad.
I'm
So-
sure it's fine.
So,
But let's be honest, you're gonna play Arcadius with no infantry anyway, so.
yeah, that's the thing. Is like a lot of times you're just gonna take a bunch of battle boards and you're gonna be like, well, I guess I get.
But you can take Arcadius, War Beast, and then an ambushing unit of commandos,
Sure.
and then you're like, oh no, oh good. All right. Anything else
I guess.
for theme forces?
That was the only one.
Well, I was going to say, like on the subject of themed forces in general, I'm actually kind of excited to see this theme force because I agree with you guys in the fact that this theme force, like, if you already play pigs and you're already playing pigs and you want to play pigs and you're having fun with it, like, you'll get something out of this. But this is not
Yeah.
going to break the back of the competitive scene.
Yeah, it just
Like,
encourages
it's going
you
to
to.
give you something fun.
Yeah, it just encourages you to play outside your comfort zone. Which
So
is nice.
it's actually, yeah, I agree. And then the other side of that is that I'm actually very happy to see this theme force in comparison to the Cephalix theme force in Kingmaker.
Yeah, Kingmaker and the Cephalix Team Force both seemed really strong. And maybe it was just because they felt that those lists were underpowered normally, and that they wanted to get them, like, up a little bit, but it seems a little excessive on those two. Or maybe that was just to test the waters,
Sure.
and they can certainly go back and change it.
Yeah, and so I'm like, and that's primarily my point because at least this way, like if they keep all of the theme forces kind of centered around this, like you get a buff, like there's a value to taking this theme force, but the value is not going to absolutely break the back of any one given thing. I think theme forces will be fine if they follow this template. I think theme forces will be fine if they keep doing like Cephalix theme forces over and over and over. There's probably something eventually at some point is going to break.
Yeah. My favorite thing about Mark II is everyone complained about theme forces, but like literally every broken theme force started out as, well, that list is garbage. Like Runes of War was considered garbage for like 2 years before anyone really gave it a try. And then, EE was out for almost a full year before anyone realized it was good.
Yeah, so EE and the Denegro one, I think that it was more
It was just
buying the units.
It might have been. But even then, people were just like, okay, so you have a bunch of storm trolls. Who the fuck cares? And then they like didn't actually comprehend it.
I think everyone.
Seeing it on the table was certainly more impressive than
I thought EE was pretty popular when it came out.
I think it was.
it. It was popular for the people that could play it, but it always started out with warders because nobody had that many lights.
Yeah.
And then once they realized that warders were the weakness of the list, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a matter of getting a hold of all the lights, I think.
Yeah.
Just like Bradigus.
But still, there was like a couple people that kind of championed that. And like once they saw that they had success with it, then everyone wanted to try it.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, but that's the same with everything.
I know when Body and Soul came out, everybody looked at the list and said, oh, you have to take Drudges, it's garbage, and like just didn't even read it until, oh, look, someone won like a major tournament with it, now we have to go fucking play it. And, oh, look, it's broken.
Right. Cool. Anything else?
We were going to talk about the thing that happened.
We do need to talk about that.
So anybody that was at Warmachine Weekend or goes to the Midwest at all, we had a press ganger named Kim Wilborn that was really active in the community. She ran recruits with me every year. I just recently started helping her with recruits. She ran it since pretty much it started, and she was on the committee for recruits. She also helps run Warmachine Weekend every year. Just the week after Warmachine Weekend, she unfortunately passed away. So we were going to give her a little sign-off, and anybody that knew her or met her or anybody that just heard about her, just so you know, we all miss her in the Midwest area.
Yeah. I didn't know her as long as you guys did, but she was definitely went out of her way to kind of introduce me to everybody. And I'm sure I would have found the group anyway, but she made it a lot easier. That's just the person she was.
Yeah, she's super nice and would always go out of her way to make sure other people were having a good time. She didn't even actually really play Warmachine. She would just organize because she knew that somebody had to. So she's out there running events for games she doesn't even play because she thought it wasn't fair that people couldn't play because they had to run stuff. So.
The event for her is...
Oh, yes. I doubt this will be out in time, but...
It'll be out shortly before. But...
Okay. You've probably seen on Facebook then, we're running a memorial event for Kim on December 3rd at Tabletop Games and Hobby in Overland Park, Kansas. And you should come out and have a good time. It's going to be a charity event. Also, she has what is it, just a donation page, or is it a GoFundMe or something? Or
I think they've already sent that off.
I think they're just making donations in her name.
Yeah.
So even if you can't make it and you want to call in and donate anything, we're donating all of the proceeds to Child's Play, which is a charity that goes out and helps kids get into gaming and stuff like that. Which is she was a teacher and she was pretty favorable towards that charity, so everything we take in for the event is going to be that. And I think at this point we're going to do a Who's the Boss event, which should be pretty fun.
Yeah. Should be a fun day.
Yeah.
I will say about Kim, the one thing that always comes to my mind is that I have never met anybody, because I didn't know her for an extremely long period of time, but I have never met anybody who cared so much. Like, I've never met someone who cared so much about anybody more than I've met someone who just cares about anyone. Like she, if you were part of the gaming group, like you were just part of her family. That's how she saw it. She made that comment several times. She's like, I love coming to tournaments because it's like a family reunion, you know, like,
yeah.
So if you can make it out, like, that'd be an awesome thing. I know I'll be there. I was talking to my locals last night, and I know we intend to come out in force to support it. And I hope everybody else's groups will too.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of people saying they're going to make it, so hopefully we'll have a nice turnout.
Yeah, that'd be a nice way to get together and honor her.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think that wraps up everything we had for today. And thanks for tuning in. This has been Brandon.
Carl.
Jeremy.
Scott.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Whatever.
They posted the Farrow theme force that we all already knew about.
They actually posted it now?
Yeah.
Did we know about it?
Yeah, I posted it on either GroupMe or Facebook Messenger to you.
When?
We talked about it, like, last week.
I don't remember this at all. Maybe it's because it was just not memorable.
It's not really that memorable.
Ambushing commandos is kind of cool.
You get commandos at ambush for every 20 points of Farrow
You get a free solo
stuff.
or
You get
UA.
a free solo or UA. So,
Or weapon crew.
yeah.
Have we
That's pretty much it.
already started podcasting?
I don't know, Scott. Have we?
I don't know, Brandon. Have we?
I don't know, Scott. Have we?
Well, like, I didn't know if we were doing intros or however
No,
that
this is
works.
just kind of
This
pre-ramble
is
right now.
pre-rambling.
We're just chatting.
Okay, all right. That's what I wanted to make sure of.
Oh, Warbeast gained Retaliatory Strike, too.
I saw that.
Which is
Because it was written on the paper.
stupid. It's not stupid, but it's not great.
It's almost as good as defensive strike on all your war beasts.
Yeah, or your army.
Oh my god.
I'm tired. Don't look at me. Thinking about making a drink.
That'll help with tiredness.
It does.
There's some Kilo Kylo.
I'll be back in a minute. I was actually going to drink vodka.
Is there a beer down there?
There's not.
Okay, I was thinking about getting beer.
You should have gotten beer.
I
I
should've.
would have drinking it for you because you're trying to be low on carbs.
That was kind of why I didn't, but... Scott, do you have War Room pulled up?
I do.
Go to the online match so we can see it.
Okay.
Whoa,
Just a
whoa,
second.
whoa. You're trying to get all technical here.
Yeah.
Whoa. We're not used to this. We barely got the Skype thing figured out.
Well, it's War Room, so it'll crash, don't worry.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't tried it in this edition.
Actually, it works pretty well. If you use the online feature, it does eat your battery.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly. So I don't know if you'd use it in a tournament. I'll add my Fiano list because I want to talk about that.
What are you doing?
I'm making an online match on War Room so that we can share our list
That's a mistake.
that we're going to dojo.
You're trying to make Skynet.
I am. War Room is going to take our jobs.
I don't think that was the problem with Skynet. That's the problem with Mexicans.
Well, not anymore.
Oh, that's true. I mean, deportations have gone up massively in the last week, right?
I thought you were going to make a drink. You just poured rum into a glass. That's not making
But
a
this
drink.
glass is fancy. Don't judge me.
To be fair, he put ice in it.
I did. That's a drink.
Oh, I have my scotch.
Have you been to Kentucky? That's a drink.
I'll be back.
Welcome
shared my
to Learn to
list.
Drink.
So I shared my list, but my list is 6 points down. I was going to put something else in it, and I haven't put it in there yet. I was kind of torn.
You mean you were kind of scorned?
Boom.
You're the worst. You're the worst. Oh, that's so terrible.
It's in their name. I mean, come on.
That's
fair.
why I honestly think it's just the longest running troll ever, is that the entire Skorne community agreed that they would just troll their own faction. It's all that makes sense to me, because I can't understand how people look at the models that they got and said that they're as bad as they say they are.
I can't. I don't know. Skorne's missing a few things. I have said for a long time, Skorne is missing a few things. But what Skorne isn't missing much, and they're very playable as they are now.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious what happens in the errata, because part of me actually has a concern about overbalancing.
I think that Privateer Press is aware that most of the problem is psychological. I am worried that they're going to overcompensate a little, but not a lot. I don't think that they're actually looking at completely rewriting the faction like everyone thinks they are.
No, why would they do that?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
just no.
The sheer concept of that is ridiculous, because the amount of changes between Mark II and Mark III was far from a rewrite. So I don't know why they would expect a rewrite. But
I'm back.
welcome back.
Maybe they'll make Xerxes great
I
again.
thought we were pre-rambling.
We are.
Scott takes this way too seriously.
He does.
But
It's not his fault. He's just super uptight.
I'm not. I mean,
I'm not sure that this is plugged in.
I think it is.
It is.
I think you have mental problems.
Maybe.
Just drink your scotch.
so Carl, I shared my list with you. The list is 6 points down right now because I haven't really decided how I want. I've been debating on a couple of things, and I'll talk about them as we go through the list in the podcast. But yeah, the list is shared with you, so you can see it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I just think that Skorne and
Carl
Mark
made
III,
a frumpy face.
I'm confused about it, but we can talk about
Skorne
it.
and Mark III, I think, is better than Kaor was in Mark II. At the end of Mark II.
I agree.
I mean, Kaor players weren't generally happy with their faction at the end of Mark II, but it wasn't the mass crybaby bullshit that we're dealing with right now.
I don't know. I think we had a whole podcast dedicated to Crybaby Kador.
Oh, I want to call someone out, but I don't want to call someone out.
Was it me?
No, it wasn't you.
Damn it. I
Not
like
you
being
at all.
called out.
It was him and Lance.
No,
As long as people are talking about me, I'm just fine with that.
it was,
We had a 3-hour Kaor podcast at episode 16.
Yeah.
We had Lance on for that podcast. That was
the
fun.
problem is I just know his forum handle. I don't know who he is.
All right, Jeremy, pretend to stop the podcast. All right, now that he stopped the podcast, who is it?
He didn't stop the podcast.
He did. You saw him press the button.
I didn't see him.
Just Magnus?
No.
Because that guy's an ass.
No.
And he loves it.
San 20 go.
I don't. You think I read forums?
It was when I read the Kador forum. He every day it was something.
You can blow people up on the internet. That's what they do on the internet.
Yeah, but like I can't hide behind a wall of anonymity here.
Yeah, you can, Bill.
Okay, Carl with the C.
Max.
Oh, got him.
Max, remember that nobody's going to know who you are.
Yeah, that's right. Come. If you have any complaints, come check me out on DACA. Age of Egos on.
Yep.
I think we're up to 4 now. Each of you goes.
And at least 6.
No, I just remember when I read the Khador forums like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That guy always bitched about something.
Yeah.
But Khador was pretty bad at Mark II.
Yeah.
I was of the opinion that Khador was the worst faction.
I think at the end they were.
And like worse than Minions, worse than everybody.
Yeah, once Minions started getting stuff, it was pretty much after Croak Raiders. I think Khador was just the worst, except for Assault Commandos.
Yeah, those were
because they directly countered Croak Raiders.
They did.
But those Kazite woodsmen, man.
The problem is, you still lost the other 9% of your games, but at least you could beat Minions. At least you could beat
Well,
Minions.
you couldn't beat Arcadius.
That's well, so.
So with the way
Again,
theme
Assault
forces,
Commandos.
so with the way theme forces are going, Kazite woodsmen will ambush.
Yep.
Something.
Maybe it's for every 20 points of Cossite Woodsman, your caster gains ambush.
What if it's for every...
No, battle group.
I mean, if Butcher 2 ambushed, I'm completely fine with that.
Jesus Christ.
No! So my question is...
What about Doom Reaper's ambushing?
Well, hold on. Do you still start with 7 focus the turn he enters play? Or if not, do you get to roll your focus die before ambushing?
Well, but if you don't deploy him, you instantly lose.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's true.
Yeah, I think it's called the Butcher rule. I mean, it's very thematic. He comes out of the woods, he kills everything, he leaves again. Like, that's what he does.
I mean, in the fluff, Butcher is a Cossite.
Yeah.
Like, in the fluff, Butcher, like,
So-
the Butcher, like, Ursus Zoctavir is a Cossite.
60
He's a
points.
wood-
If you take 60 points of Cossites, Butcher 2 can ambush.
That's fine.
How about that?
Yeah, but we have to go back to pre-errata homicidal maniac. That way when your whole army ambushes, you're like, where's it coming from? And then you just ambush, run, and conga line into their shit. There's just this ball of scared in the middle of the table. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't see why this wouldn't be okay.
That'd be fine.
Can't imagine why they don't hire you for theme forces.
I know.
I don't know what they did for...
While we're pre-rambling, I'm going to go use the restroom real quick.
Okay.
We'll do that.
I don't think Scott understands the point of a pre-ramble. If no one's talking, it's just silence.
Yeah.
That's not pre-ramble.
That's great radio.
Yeah, why doesn't he do like us and just take the phone into
Yeah.
the bathroom with us?
I take camcorders in the bathroom with me.
Yep.
Yeah, you do.
So now that he's gone, can we talk about this terrible Zadesh list?
Wait. Does it have models in it? It can't be bad.
It
Because he
does.
buffs models.
That's the same face I made.
There's only one thing that confuses me, though, and that's why does he have that battle group?
Well, we
I mean,
will find
I
out.
understand gladiators, but why is there a spoiler in here?
Yeah, why is Tiberian not in there? I also like soldiers with him a lot.
Doesn't he have an armor buff?
He does.
Okay, so...
I don't.
Also, you could do the mammoth, because you can stack counterblast with defensive strike.
Yeah, and the armor buff on the mammoth is pretty sweet too.
Yeah. Why is Scott bad?
Also, the Hydra is coming out.
I don't think I agree. We'll
See,
talk-
there's
Wait,
December-
multiple heads? Can it do a spray as melee attack? It's not point blank, right? It's just gunfighter.
Yeah, I think it's Gunfighter, or it was. In the previous edition.
no, Typhon has Gunfighter. It doesn't allow you to spray in melee, but he's a colossal, so
But it triggers a melee attack, so you wouldn't be able to spray, right? Damn. Although randomly countercharging models with Sandstorm up would be funny. Can you take Shamans? Shamans with countercharge would be funny. What's their command? Tell me it's 9. Because that would be amazing. I'm just going to charge him and kill him. Defensive strike. What? Yeah, that makes too much noise. Don't do that.
I thought we had shotgun absorbers on these mics, so it didn't matter.
It still picks up the noise.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
What is that noise?
My headphones. This year is still out.
Yeah, I only get it on the left side.
Yeah, it's mono.
No, it's not. It's sometimes stereo.
Then you have a shitty mic.
This
That's
thing
what
is
I'm
also
saying.
kind of shitty.
Okay, that there's a short somewhere. That's what I'm saying.
You're short.
Not really.
This thing was $10.
Oh, do that again because it fixed it. Bump that wire.
Oh, this?
Yeah, it's yeah.
How about now?
No. Nope. That there it is. Don't touch it. Don't touch anything.
Yeah, that was the one thing I splurged on.
So, Scott,
Nice.
we've decided that you're really bad at making lists.
Am I?
Yes.
I'm confused.
I mean, we took a vote. So far, it's 2-0. Would you like to weigh in?
I'm confused about some of the stuff in this list.
Mainly
I
why
actually-
it's in there.
Why don't we get
Yeah,
started?
I actually.
Should we start? Not much pre-ramble this week, I guess. I haven't seen. I didn't go see Doctor Strange yesterday.
It was all right.
Yeah, you're not
You
missing
need
much.
to. It was a good movie.
I
liked
heard it was good.
It was pretty good.
I was a little
Yeah.
drunk,
A
was
little.
and I drove the bus, so
Yeah.
I think I wasn't quite drunk yet when we got there, but the drunk kicked in at some point.
I've heard Arrival is really good. I want to see that. There's good movies coming out.
I kind of want
again.
to see the Harry Potter movie.
I want to see the Harry Potter movie.
And supposedly there's more Harry Potter stuff coming now.
Yeah, it's
She got off her damn high horse or whatever.
Well, and she probably just got
She realized,
suitcases full of money thrown at her.
You mean garbage trucks?
Yeah. She's the first billionaire.
She was the youngest billionaire.
No. She was the first billionaire to ever lose her billionaire status because she just gave her money to charity, basically.
Oh, gotcha.
So
No, I thought she was still like the youngest, or maybe she's youngest.
she might
female
be the
billionaire.
youngest, but she's no longer
because she gave away huge amounts of money.
Yeah, which is odd. I think is
That's
pretty.
I mean, she's
admirable.
making royalty money like nobody's business, so
She's
it's not
not-
like she needs to do anything.
Yeah, she's not. She's never gonna have to want for anything again.
Yeah.
But someone was like, "Hey, you want to be a billionaire again? Just write a couple more, movies."
I mean, yeah, it doesn't even. It's
Well, to be fair, can it just be shit like the last book? Okay.
Whoa.
shots fired.
Calm down.
You're gonna say something you're gonna regret.
Okay.
I watched all the movies before I ever read the books. I listened to the books on Audible because I don't have time to read, really.
Yeah,
But I really liked the books. The first two were a little slow, but
sure. The first two are definitely. The first three are definitely more kids, but they kind of get more grown up as you
Yeah.
move along. I like the books.
they were fun.
They're not groundbreaking.
I definitely understand why people get so into it after reading the books, because the movies were like, oh, this is cool, but it's just movies. And then
Yeah.
going back and reading the books, maybe want to watch the movies and everything again. And actually, I looked up like the Potter World thing where they had the big castle and everything.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed upon seeing it because they build the castle, right? The big castle on the mountain is there, and then it's just a tunnel system you walk through that's not actually part of the castle, and it's just rooms made up to look like it. It's not in any particular order. or
Yeah,
anything. I was
my
like, that was so lame.
My wife wants to go there.
It's like, why,
Okay, you
why
wanna
didn't
hear-
they just make the castle? With how much money they spent, they could have just built the fucking castle.
You want to hear about lame? The fucking Jurassic Park adventure thing. Fucking 45 minutes to see one goddamn animatronic T-Rex on the side going...
Oh, wait, you mean Triceratops?
Whatever.
Oh, the dying one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the asthmatic one.
Yeah.
Was it dying?
I thought it was
I
dying.
thought the whole point was it was just pooping.
Well, it did that too.
I mean, I've had that exact situation where you make a poop that big, you just gotta lie down.
So, of course, my brother and I were waiting in this line, and then we get to this damn thing, and we're like, okay, it's just another part of the line, because they had, like...
Yeah, you think it's just more line.
Yeah.
I've heard that Universal's not. I mean,
And then
no
you
Disney.
you walk out...
I had a
and you're
lot
like,
of fun at Universal when I went.
Yeah, I've been to Disney once. I've never been to Universal.
Never been to Disney.
Universal was pretty good.
The Jaws ride was fun. The Back to the Future ride was like the best because that was like very first when they were doing like you sit in a car that moves and they have a full 3D screen around you.
Right.
And that stuff's usually pretty fun. So I like the Back to the Future a lot. The Jaws one was cool.
Except for that one's gone.
Jaws?
Jaws is gone?
No,
Back to the
to the Future.
Oh. That was a fun one. Yeah, Jurassic Park was closed when we went.
was gonna say Jaws is pretty iconic. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I actually really like the wait line for Jaws because they just have TVs everywhere and they just show you like random places. And they have like the actors from the movie sit down and do like these 10-minute interviews. And the fucking ship captain guy is so fucking weird in his goddamn interview. And it's like after the movie, so he's like, no, the shark didn't really hit me. And they play the video in reverse. It's like, see, he spits me out right here. And he's like, what? And then he's like, yeah. But it was fun. I'm trying to remember what else we did there. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've been there, so it's probably completely different now. But
sure. I think we might try and go next year just to do the Harry Potter thing.
It's going to be disappointing.
It might be.
You get butterbeer while you're there.
That's not going to be disappointing. Actually, that probably will be disappointing.
I can't imagine it's anything but like butterscotch beer.
Ooh.
I've heard that it's like so sweet you can't drink it.
Oh, that does not.
Because it's like
good.
for kids. Because it's not beer.
Oh, well, that's not.
I'm so disappointed already.
What the
That's
shit?
why you
Fuck
go to
this Harry Potter crap.
That's why you go to SeaWorld.
SeaWorld? I've never been to SeaWorld.
Because it's owned by Anheuser-Busch. And so the one down in Florida actually has one of their beer schools in it.
Oh my God.
So you go in and like, I want a sample of that. I want a sample of that. I want a sample of that. I only can give you 2 in a row.
What do you mean in a row?
So you step over to the next guy. I want a sample of that.
Nice. It's good to know.
And then you go back to the other.
Yeah.
Then you go fall in the pool and get eaten by an orca.
Are they still allowed to have those?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Scott died.
I think he did.
Scott did not die. Scott is here.
I don't know why he's not talking.
Yeah.
bad
Well,
is
like
this
you guys are
sound?
talking.
I haven't heard him speak in like 10 minutes. Are you sure he's
You guys
still
were
here?
having.
I think he's dead.
Oh.
I think he's
I am
gone.
not dead.
Scott, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Do you hear anything? All right, fine.
Here, let me adjust this.
Let me adjust some things.
Oh, God, it hurts.
Remember when, like, randomly Parker muted himself for like half an hour?
He
he
was
was
like-
like trying to join in conversation.
Yeah, he like muted himself on
his
Skype.
mic- yeah, because he was
You turned me
chewing
down.
ice.
My headphones.
So he's
Thank
chewing
you.
ice. He's like, I didn't want anybody to like get annoyed. So I yell at him when he chews ice on the podcast. So he muted his headset and he's like just sitting there and he like starts talking and like, but didn't notice that we were talking over him. And so he just sat there for like half an hour and thought that we were like just taking in what he was saying. And then randomly he's like mid sentence, he's like, why are they talking over me, guys? And we just keep talking and he's like, hey. He just gets mad and he realizes his headset's muted. He's like, God damn it! We're like, oh, Parker's back. He's like, I have been muted for 45 minutes.
We thought you just fell asleep
He's like,
again.
we literally thought you died.
Nice.
Oh, when Richard was on and we'd just fall asleep and like,
Richard would fall asleep and say it was the internet. My internet disconnected again. Really? That happens 4 times an hour, doesn't it?
Your internet snores when it disconnects. That's weird.
That's odd. It's those
You
gremlins.
should get that internet checked for sleep apnea.
Yeah. I mean, I understand his computer's like in his bedroom, so he's probably just laying on his bed. Scotch. I mean, I'm drinking rum, but you have scotch.
I have scotch.
All right, well, I think we're about ready to podcast.